Hello from RADE Garage to everyone. Today is next to me the brand new KTM EXC 4-stroke engine, the model year 2024. We had already great experiences with the previous model, but we can say this one is even better. The handling is easier, the suspension is even better. So we decided for this model year we'll bring you more parts than before. When riding the hobby rallies or adventure trails in remote areas, the extended fuel range is a must and the engine protection is critical. And we try to address both these issues at once. So we are happy today to present you the integrated fuel tank in the skid plate that works for the EXC as well as for the Husqvarna FE models. With the previous generation, we did many rallies, riding dunes in Tunisia and many other adventures. But always we had to solve the issue with a small OEM tank. So we're always looking for some extra fuel range solution. So usually we replaced the OEM tank, but we are never happy with something bulky on top, which has significant impact on handling of the bike. Your body movement are a little bit limited on the motorbike with this bulky tank on top. So for this new generation, we said we will address this issue different way. The first idea was to come up with a tank in the back. What would be great on the weight distribution, and it would be kind of factory Dakar bikes, but the feasibility with the airbox here would be very difficult and extremely expensive. So we're thinking about other areas on the bike where to put the fuel. And again, the inspiration from the RADE bikes, from the factory RADE bikes, I mean, the fuel around the engine. The RADE tanks are split in two, one half, second half. We did the split a little bit different way. You have the top tank and the bottom tank. But actually the distribution of the fuel is exactly the same as on factory Dakar bikes. Which believe it's very meaningful because you don't touch the center of gravity, you don't touch the handling of motorbike. With this tank here below, the handling, it's very same as the original. In this auxiliary tank, you can fit 8 liters of the fuel, which is actually the double volume of the OEM tank. So in total, you get the 16 liters, which is great enough for even North African rallies. When we were developing the tank and testing locally and in Spain, it attracted a lot of attention, of course. And people were asking about this, how it is with durability and endurance of such solution. And also they come up with a question about the safety because there is gas inside around the engine. Believe us, we had a lot of thinking about it and we really tried to design it in a way that it's super stiff, super safe. Just let me explain you the logic behind it. Actually, the distribution of the fuel is not different from the RADE Dakar factory bikes. They have the fuel also distributed around the bike, down here around the engine. So actually, this is very same. Only on the Dakar bikes, you have the tank from the plastic, and then there is some carbon cover underneath. While our solution is made from 3 millimeter thick aluminum, with a lot of bends and precise welding that makes the shape super stiff, and ready to absorb a lot of stones, crashes and even slide. Yeah. So let me say this is not the construction of the fuel tank, but it's construction of a very stiff skid plate. Only as a side effect, there is 8 liters of fuel inside. To further increase the protection on the most exposed area, which is behind the front wheel, where goes most of the stones and the sand, mud, etc., etc., we place this nice carbon cover. It's 2 mm thick, made in autoclave, so pretty good stiffness, yeah, and it should absorb all the biggest hits, yeah, so please don't expect after the season it will looks nicely, but its purpose is a protection and not to be a fancy part. And very important feature also, it's a cover of the fuel pump against the branches or stones also. I would like to give you one more proof of the stiffness of this skid plate / fuel tank. Yeah, last September, Matthias was racing with exactly this one piece on a Galicia already in Spain. Yeah, and he slid away on a gravel road in speed about 50-60 kilometers per hour. He hit even a stone on the floor. Yeah, and this is the result. There is a bend on the tank. Yeah, but no leaking, nothing, and Matthias could finish the rally on the first position. And based on this experience from this crash on this prototype tank, we decided to further optimize the shape of the final tank. Yeah, you can see it's more conic now in these areas. Yeah, so if there is an accident and you slide on the ground, better if you don't. Yeah, so the shape is more prepared to slide rather than hit into the something. Let me start now with a side story. Yeah, the OEM tank has the OEM fuel pump located here in the middle, a little bit on top of the tank. Yeah, and the result of it is when you are riding a calm way, then you cannot use the entire volume of the tank. Usually happens when you are returning back home, you have there still 1.5 liters of gas, the engine stopped working. The reason, don't worry, the bike is not broken, only the fuel pump cannot reach up to the bottom of the tank on the left or right side. Yeah? So this is a downside of the OEM solution. Why I was speaking about it? Because we have a solution to that, of course. So now let me speak about the RG solution again. Yeah. So we take the OEM fuel pump. Yeah, the tube is long enough, and we relocate it into the RG tank. Yeah, 4 bolts, very easy. It's there. Yeah. Next thing, you need to connect the OEM tank with the auxiliary tank. Yeah, so you can see here is a tube and quick release connector, so you connect it through. Another thing you need to do on daily basis or almost daily basis, you need to refuel. Yeah, they are connected. Yeah, but here the diameter of the hose is very small, so it would take ages to wait. So in practically, you have to fill up the top tank and you have to open the auxiliary tank. Yeah, and you have to refill both of them. And the venting is managed by the original fuel cap because again, both tanks are connected together. Day-to-day life with this bike is also about regular change of the oil every 10 or 15 hours. Yeah, so we're thinking also about that, how to make the maintenance as easy as possible. Yeah, so let me explain. You can easily disconnect one fuel line on quick release, second fuel line on a quick release, then you disconnect the fuel pump, and then the skid plate / tank in the back sits on such hook, and in front there are only 2 bolts. So actually it's enough only to lose these 2 bolts, then you bend the tank down and you are ready for the oil change. So far, we are speaking only about the practical features of this tank integrated in a skid plate. But when designing it, we wanted to have the shape that totally correspond with the narrow line of this EXC bike. Yeah, so it starts conic like the fairings, it's conic going back, and in the end, it's nicely corresponding with the rest and slim lines of this nice bike. And the best out of it, when you sit on a motorbike and you ride, you don't know about it, you don't feel it, but you still have the double full range. To gain more volume for the tank, we had to replace the original exhaust pipe. Yeah, but don't worry, together with the tank/skid plate, you will get in the set also the pipe. The middle pipe stays the original, so you can be sure it fits with the OEM exhaust or with any aftermarket exhausts. And we did also test on a dynojet. Yeah, in low RPM you gain 1 to 2 HPs, but in the peak you lose about 2 HPs, which we believe is a good compromise. Yeah, and as we mentioned before, you can win even the races with that. Let me summarize in the end. We believe we have very well addressed the extended full range and the great engine protection with our auxiliary tank integrated in a skid plate that is very stiff, durable, and all that is packaged in very nice design corresponding with the rest of the motorbike. So if you like it, please order on our e-shop.